Good morning, my dear children. How are you all? A warm welcome to my dear beloved student. Children, how are you? Fine. Very good. Children, in previous class, what you learned? In previous classes, we learned kinds of sentences and also subject and predicate. And also, we didn't complete the kinds of sentence all. We completed the only declarative sentence. What is that, ma? We completed the declarative sentence. We complete declarative sentence. And what is the declarative sentence? A sentence that makes statements or declares something is called a declarative sentence. A declarative sentence is of two kinds. They are positive sentence and the negative sentence. What is the positive sentence? A sentence that tells something is called a positive sentence. A sentence which has a no, not, never. This is called a negative sentence. Coming to the next one, interrogative sentence. What is that, ma? Interrogative sentence. What is that? Interrogative sentence. What is that, ma? An interrogative sentence. What is the meaning of an interrogative sentence? An interrogative sentence asks a question. An interrogative sentence, yeah, interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence asks a question. Ask a question. An interrogative sentence asks a question. This is called an interrogative sentence. What is that, ma'am? An interrogative sentence. Okay. But here, an interrogative sentence starts with capital letter. See, it starts with, what is that, ma'am? It starts with capital letter, and ends with question mark, and ends with question mark, and ends with question mark. This is called a interrogative sentence. See, my dear children, what is that, ma'am? An interrogative sentence asks a question. Okay, and it starts with capital letter and it ends with question mark. Got it, ma'am? Now, I write the examples. We can understand clearly. Coming to that. See, what is your father? What is your father? See now, what is your father? But here, what is the W is? Capital letter or a small letter? Capital letter. It starts with capital letter and it ends with, what is that, ma'am? Question mark. It ends with question mark. This is called an interrogative sentence. It starts with a capital letter and it ends with question mark. Coming to that, in declarative sentence, what you know, Nana? In declarative sentence, the subject of the sentence come to the starting of a sentence, and in interrogative sentence, what is that, ma'am? The predicate of the sentence comes starting of a sentence. For example, but here what is the subject here? What is the subject here? Your father. This is a subject. And what is the predicate? What is? This is called a predicate. But what you understand in interrogative, in declarative sentence, for example, my father is a doctor. My father is a doctor. Here what is the subject? My father. It is a subject. And what is the predicate? Is a doctor. Is a doctor. This is called a predicate. But this is called which kind of sentence it is? It is a declarative sentence. This is called a declarative sentence or a assertive sentence. See Nana, my father is a doctor. This is a declarative sentence. Here what is that now? The subject of the sentence come to the starting of a sentence. Okay na? The subject must come starting of the sentence in declarative sentence. But here in the interrogative sentence, what can I see Nana? It is the predicate. The predicate must come starting of a sentence. There is a difference between, see Nana? The predicate must come in the interrogative sentence. The subject must come in declarative sentence. Okay na? Here see Nana? A predicate or a part of a predicate come starting of the sentence. Got it? Got it? Okay. Understand children? What is the difference between interrogative sentence and declarative sentence? Here in declarative sentence, the predicate come starting of a sentence. In declarative sentence, the subject must come the starting of a sentence. This is called a, this is the difference between the interrogative and interrogative and declarative sentence. Okay, coming to that, what is that ma'am? For example, do you know English? Do you know English? Do you know English? Identify the subject. Identify the subject. Here in this sentence, this is a which kind of sentence ma'am? This is a declarative sentence. Here what is the subject? You is the subject. And what is the verb here? Do know. This is called a predicate. And coming to that, an interrogative sentence ask a questions. Ask a question. It asks a question. It asks a question. But here the question is of two types. The question is of two types. The question is of two types. They are assertive question and synonym. Question is of two types. That is assertive question and see the next one, question word question. What is that ma? Question word question. Question word question. What is that ma? An interrogative sentence ask a question. But here the question is of two types. They are assertive questions and question word questions. Coming to that, first of all you have to know what is the assertive and what is the question word question. Okay Nana? Question is of how many types? The question is of two types. They are assertive question, see, assertive question and question word question. Got it ma? Coming to the assertive question. See, nothing but a affirmative answer. When you ask a yes or no question, we expect either positive answer or negative answer. For example, do you read well? Do you read well? This is called a yes or no question. How it is yes or no question? How it become yes or no question? Later I will tell you. Do you read well? What is the answer? Yes. Say yes. I read well. Yes, I read well. No, I don't. No, I don't read well. This is a negative answer. When you ask a yes or no question, either we expect either positive answer or the negative answer. Okay now, this is called a yes or no question. Coming to the 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 yes or no question. The yes or no question begins with auxiliary verbs. What is that, ma'am? An yes or no question, it begins with auxiliary verbs. It begins with auxiliary verbs. What is that, ma'am? An yes or no question begins with auxiliary verb. But children, we have to identify what are the auxiliary verbs. Okay na? Okay, my dear children, what is that, ma'am? Yes or no questions begins with auxiliary verbs. What are the auxiliary verbs? Okay na? Coming to that, do you know, anybody can tell which are the auxiliary verbs? Which are the auxiliary verbs? The auxiliary verbs are either be forms, do form, and have form, and modal auxiliary verbs we can call as a auxiliary verb. What is that, ma'am? Yes, Inanna. Be forms, do forms, have forms, and modal auxiliary verbs. Modal auxiliary verb. These are the auxiliary verb. Okay, what are the auxiliary verbs? What are the auxiliary verbs? The auxiliary verbs are be form, do form, have forms, and modal auxiliary verbs. My dear children, next class I would like to explain what are the be form, what are the do form, and what are the have forms, and what are the modal auxiliary. Okay, Nana? Tomorrow I will explain the next class. Okay, my dear children, I hope you all understood the class well. Thank you, Nana.